everything we have in the world is like instant, and this is where we like take a minute, relax, be still, and then like, oh man, and I was like, why do you think anxiety and depression are so prevalent in our society? It's because we don't take those moments. And I was like telling them how it helps me when I have like depression, anxiety to do this. And then all of them were opening up like, man, yeah, my mental health has been way better since starting these classes.
There's nothing about you separate from another part of you. How you move affects how you think and how you feel. Rolling. Can we roll in a chair? Absolutely can. I'm going to show you how. You can meet somebody where that. You got guys they work in an office all day. So what you do, rolling starts with the head. So you're going to take your eyes, look right, take your head right, take your elbow, and reach your hand to the opposite corner of the top of the chair and let your legs follow. So watch me do it so you get the gist. So everything's rolling. So it's eyes, torso, and then hips. And then eyes, torso, hips. So you're rolling, rotating your vertebrae. So you got to sit on the edge of your chair to do this. Let your legs follow. Yes. And as some of you have found out, this is a great opportunity to meet your neighbors. So eyes, head, torso, legs. Eyes, head, torso, legs. Tongue's on the roof of your mouth. All right. Hop on up and check your baseline with your partner.
The second or third one we did, all the way there.
All right.
Still great.
How was that?
Does that feel better?
Did anybody find anything with that one? Got better? Rolling in a chair. You can meet anybody where they're at. They may be afraid to get on the floor. You may have older clients that are deathly afraid to get on the floor. Sit their butt in a chair and do this stuff. And it will make them brave enough and strong enough to get on the floor and do it too. You can just meet them where they're at. It's powerful. All right, so let's say we're in a chair and we want to do some rocking. Well, we're gonna try 2 types of rocking. So I don't know how this is gonna go. We'll see how this goes. All right, so you're gonna keep your head and eyes level with the horizon. And you're gonna rock forward, keeping your head level with the horizon. And then you're gonna rock back, keeping your head level with the horizon. And you're going to feel some interesting muscular reactions to this. So you're on the edge of your chair. So we're just keeping our head level with the horizon, moving that big watermelon head. But we're really moving our body underneath our big watermelon head. Keep breathing. Keep your tongue on the roof of your mouth. Don't breathe the chair. All right, let's test it out. Check your baseline out with your partner.
I've been able to agree that. I had 2 parts. Have you seen it?
like my knee hurts like over
So when I 6-point rock, I'm totally fine, but when I go for my forearms, it like totally ruins my resets. And then that one, my hip never pops, and that one my hip was popping, and it pulled me back a little bit too.
Can you go to the edge of the pop but not into it?
It's like, it's a weird spot. It's like right there as I'm like transitioning back.
What if you just do the transition back and forward but not? Yep, and then straight, yep, and then back. Do it. I would do it like that and see what happens. All right. Have a seat, guys. How was that one? What happened?
I was able to touch on one side that I couldn't do. I haven't been able to do in a while.
Is this stuff cool? This is your design. And you want to talk about awesomely and wonderfully made. Here's the cool part. Every breath you take should be a reset for your nervous system. It should be a mobility, releasing, expressing, strength expressing movement. Just moving your head around every time should keep you neurologically sharp and healthy. Does that make sense? Because that's really the design. And look how fast, when you tap back into it, how fast it happens at the speed of your nervous system. No one is ever stuck where they're at unless they just want to be stuck where they're at. Right? Yes, sir.
I think one of the cool things to realize that Oscar talked about is a perform better. You're never staying the same, ever. You're always either moving in one direction or the other, and just realizing that you have the tools to pull yourself in the direction that you want to go is what's so cool about this.
It is. It is. Yeah. You get to co-create. You have a lot of say. Your client has a lot of say about where they are. You guys learn anything with that? All right, so I don't know what's gonna happen. We're just gonna press on, we'll see. Here's a good quote. This might be the quote of the day. If you're always trying to be normal, you will never know how amazing you can be. That's powerful. And she's a pretty smart lady. But I said that normal was the great lie. So you guys, we operate on bell curves all the time, and we always use data to show things. But what if a bell curve was just to help us understand data, and it wasn't actually intended for us to settle for things or become normal and live inside that bell curve? I guess my question is what if people weren't actually meant to live inside bell curves? They should just be tools for helping us understand data, not justifying where we're at. A lot of people use bell curves to justify where things are at. But just because something is normal does not make it right. You got that? As a matter of fact, that's the lie. Well, it's normal. And normal gets people to settle for a lot of things they shouldn't have to settle for. Or it helps them start to, what did I say was more powerful than knowledge? Believe. They'll start to believe the stuff that's in here because they'll justify their limitations with it. Did you have a question or are you stretching?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. We're not designed to fit inside of bell curves. And here's the other thing. Normal is really the path of least resistance. This is normal. The average American sits 13 hours a day. That's normal. How many of you believe that that's what the average American is supposed to be doing? No. Here's a good one. 68.8% of adults are overweight or obese in the United States. We might as well say 70% of all adults in the United States are overweight or obese. That's normal. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that is not right. That's not right. 88% of nursing home residents are 65 years old or older. That's normal, and it's also sad. Guys, 65 is really not that old. Some of us aren't really that far away from 65. Here's a good one. People lose 3 to 8% of muscle mass every decade past the age of 30. That's normal. And science will justify, so again, a lot of stats are used to justify observations or science, and then it becomes like the science gospel. Guys, 3 to 8% muscle mass every decade past the age of 30. What if the only reason that happens is because you're out of college now and you don't move as much as you did when you were in your 20s? So you're not moving as much, so you don't need that muscle mass anymore because your body's striving to be efficient. So it says, well, Jimmy's not going to move anymore. I don't need this extra stuff. It takes energy to keep that muscle. And he likes eating more anyway than he does moving. So I'll just put on a little bit more insulation and trade out the muscle mass. What if when he's 40, he feels even worse than he did when he was in his 30s? So now in his 40s, he moves less than he did when he was in his 30s because he has put on extra weight and he hasn't been moving. So he doesn't really feel that good anymore. And it feels good to feel good, but he doesn't remember what that feels like anyway. So now he loses another 3 to 8% of muscle mass in his 40s. There might be a reason people lose that muscle mass every decade past the age of 30, but it's also probably easily preventable. That's just normal. That doesn't mean it's right. There's a lot of stuff we'll settle for because of normal. But there's so much life left to live after your 20s. So much. Does it even make sense that the best and strongest years of our lives would be up until the point where we're like 20, 25, and then the next 50 to 60 years we're supposed to be on a decline? That's retarded. But think about it. So say in a span of 100 years of a lifetime, your strongest and best are like the first 20? And then after that, you're supposed to start declining? That doesn't even make sense. Like you don't even make it to wouldn't it be a ramp to go up to 50 before you went down to decline? Like, you know, you were cock diesel at 49, 50 years old and then you started getting slower? That would make more sense. But the way we justify things and accept things, we fool ourselves sometimes. I was going to show you these videos, but I'm afraid to. I'll tell you the second one, John Sullivan, he's 72. That's that older guy right there. That's at an RKC cert. He's 72 years old. The video is him climbing a rope out into a building that's as tall as your gymnasium here, but he's climbing it like a squirrel, not using his legs or anything, just up with his arms and then down with his arms. 72. I mean, he's just a beast. And he's a beast that's about this tall. And he weighs like 115 pounds. But he is so strong. 72. I don't know many 20-somethings that can climb a rope like he does in this video. The top one, you should Google 89-year-old football player. And I think it's Kansas State. This is an 89-year-old playing football with a group of college kids. And it's the most beautiful video ever. He's weaving and juking and jiving through. He's moving a lot slower than the other ones are, and they're blocking for him and stuff like that. But the smile on his face is from ear to ear because there's so much joy that he's having being 89 years old, holding the football, running down the field. And again, that's our design. We're made for that. We're made for that joy. But I'll send this. We can send this out there. Oh, you can just click on these things then. You don't have to like Google. Technology, whew. So what if normal was really supposed to be over there on that side? Like, what if we were all supposed to be outliers? I kind of think that we are all actually supposed to be outliers, especially in today's world of bell curves and normalcy. And this is how we become outliers. We know that we're designed to co-create. We have a brain. We can think. We can make decisions. We can move. And we can become. And we do it every single day. Some of you, those of you that weren't here, this is how you remove normalcy, by the way. This is how you remove the norms. You know that you're wonderfully made. You use your brain. You make decisions. You move. You put effort behind it. And then you become. And you engage every single day. In Pressing Reset, we talked about Gertrude. Some of you didn't hear about Gertrude. I'll just tell you about Gertrude. Had a heart attack. Ended up on a walker. her husband carried her into my friend Rick's studio. Barbells, kettlebells everywhere. This little old lady on a walker with her husband, where Rick sits her down in a chair. They exchange pleasantries. Hi, I'm Rick. You're Gertrude. Nice to meet you. And this is their session right here. Rick taught Gertrude how to sit in a chair and do this right here. 15 minutes later, Gertrude stands up, grabs her walker, walks out of Rick's studio. Meanwhile, Gertrude's husband is standing right here where Gertrude was beside Rick, looks at Gertrude walk out, looks at Rick, looks back at Gertrude, and then he starts crying. Because at the speed of Gertrude's nervous system, she got her body back by sitting in a chair, doing this, connecting her left and right hemisphere, turning switches back on, and her nervous system said, I remember how to move. At the speed of her nervous system, Gertrude's husband got his wife back. Like that. He had been helping her walk around on a walker for who knows how long. Her kids got their mom back. The neighborhood got their neighbor back where they didn't have to worry about her anymore. And they didn't have to worry about her anymore because after that, every day, Gertrude showed up. And she did those cross crawls. She learned how to breathe. She learned how to move her head. 6 months after that day, there's a picture of Gertrude crawling across Rick's floor, dragging a 100-pound chain. 6 months after that, Rick's teaching her how to pull a deadlift up off the floor with a barbell. She was 73 at that time. Raise your hand if you think that's normal. What if that's the way things are supposed to be, though? You ever see somebody on a walker? What is normal for you to start thinking? That's it. Quality of life's done. But your body is stronger than that. That's just one story. I got an amazing story. 18-year-old kid